Work hard. Be somebody. Be something more than what you see in the mirror. Let the world be your mirror. Don't let them judge you, because the mirror can't judge you. You judge what you see in the mirror.
What's up, YouTube? It's Harry Knight, and you're tuning to Ty's Life. I'm about to be reacting to Michael Jordan video, a Joe Rogan video. I haven't watched Joe Rogan like ever. I always hear good things about Joe Rogan. I know he has a really big following. His podcast is pretty good. That's what I've heard. But this is my first time listening to any clips or anything to do with his podcast. And they're talking about Michael Jordan. The title's Michael Jordan's Ego. So this should be interesting. I'm guessing once I watch this, I'll probably start tapping in more to Joe Rogan's content, because I think he's Canadian. He's a Canadian podcast, and he just has a huge following. He has 5.96 subscribers. I'm about to subscribe right now just to support. Feel me? Even though he has 5.96, I'm still gonna support. Like, he's doing something right. He has 5.96 million subscribers. He's a Canadian, so I have to support. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So yeah, I'm trying to get lit this summer. So tune in while you can, and subscribe while you can. Hit the bell beside the subscribe button so you can be notified when I post. So every time I post some good content, man, you just gotta be notified so you don't miss it. You feel me? So yeah, we're about to get into this video. All right.
Joe Rogan experience.
So there's pros and cons there, but my point was that there is something to the ego in that regard, where I think you almost have to have it to be Michael Jordan, right? For instance, who had a tremendous ego.
Huge.
Yeah. But also one of the greatest, if not the greatest, basketball player of all time.
Honestly, I feel that his ego really made him who he is, like who he is as a basketball player, and why he's the greatest of all time is because he had that attitude that I'm gonna take over the game, and I'm gonna win the game. It's gonna be because of me. It was always about like him in a way, but it wasn't just about him. Like, he wasn't a selfish player, but he was in a way. Like, he would have people around him. He knows that the people around him help him to do what he has to do to win a game. Like, he can't just have a bunch of crappy players around him and they don't develop throughout the years. And he's not just going to get a championship from himself, but he's going to be the main reason, though. So that's his mentality. Is like, if I'm going to win, it's going to be because I'm going to be the main, like, it's going to be because of me. It's going to be mostly because of me. But he also had Pippen. He also had all the other guys. But really, I feel Pippen and those guys developed because of Jordan. They saw Jordan and his work ethic and all that stuff, and they really saw his work ethic and see how he was growing throughout the years, and they just grew with him, and that's why they ended up being like one of the best dynasties of all time in NBA history. So that has a lot to do with Jordan, but it's based off of his ego, is his mentality, is where Kobe got it from. That Mamba mentality, that Jordan mentality is just like, I'm going to be the man and get out of my way, and I'm gonna get a bucket. Get out of my way, and I'm going to get a bucket. Whoever's in front of me, I'm sorry for them, because that's who I am. I am that beast. I'm gonna give you a bucket. I'm gonna back you down. I'm gonna give you that spin fadeaway on your head every single time. I'm gonna take you down to the block every single time and do the same thing, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's his mentality. That's his ego. And he's just like, he has that fire in him, and that's what makes him who he is. And some people say some coaches don't like ego, but honestly, you have to be humble in a way, but also have that ego for you to push yourself, and for you to know, like, to have that confidence that you are the man. For you to be the best player and to be the leader, you have to have some sort of ego in a way. Like LeBron doesn't really have. He has an ego for sure, 100%, but it's not on Jordan's level. But he still has to have some sort of like ego for him to be who he is, who LeBron is. That's why LeBron is this, I think he's the second best of all time. Some people think he's the best of all time. I think he's the second best. So I feel like in order for him to be up there and on that level, he had to have some sort of like ego. So honestly, that's what I feel. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that.
Time, but obsessed. Did you ever see the video? Jamie actually played it for me once. There was a video where this guy was talking shit about Michael Jordan after he retired. And so Michael Jordan came back and played him one-on-one and just scorched him while he's talking shit the whole time.
That was OJ Mayo.
Did you play me that?
No.
That was OJ
It's
Mayo.
happened multiple times, though. I mean, in the documentary, they go over 5 or 6 different situations where he's going back over someone that slighted him in the tiniest way.
Oh, no.
And just wrecked havoc.
He did a video on
points on him.
Yeah.
Call them like, you would act like they don't exist. All sorts of funny
He
stuff.
did a video on it. It was when Jordan retired. Like after they won all those championships, their last championship, he retired and came back for practice with the Bulls, and one of the Bulls players was talking trash behind his back, and someone let Jordan know, and he showed up to practice, and Jordan played him one-on-one and just torched him. So yeah, that's the one. That's the video he's talking about, the one-on-one he's talking about. So I did a reaction on that. So you guys can go back to that. I think I'm gonna clip it on the video at the end. But yeah, that was a Jimmy Howler video, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, his ego was substantial, and is, I'm sure. But also, the results are substantial.
Right, and so the question that I wonder, and this is really a question because I don't get to study high performance athletes with narcissism work. You don't get to do it. I mean, you can get data from presidents and stuff that you can get from historians, but you just don't really have the data. And I wonder, like obviously from Muhammad Ali and stuff, and that sort of braggadocio before fights, that if in those combat sports, ego is super important to develop. I mean, theoretically, it makes sense. One-on-one competition. Yeah. It's not about a team. You just have to win.
Up to a point, I would say. Well, what I was saying before is that the people that get destroyed, who have these enormous egos, when they get exposed, it takes incredible character to build yourself back up. And some never do. Some get psychologically defeated and they're never the same again. Because the pain of loss and the pain of being exposed as being inferior to your opponent is just too much. But I wonder, that's such a rare example of when it would be beneficial to be narcissistic or beneficial to have an ego. Tremendous ego.
I mean, but if you look across the literature, the place it seems to work is individual competitiveness. Because if you're in a team, so imagine, you see this in teams all the time. So the old story is the quarterback goes in front of the cameras and goes, I won it for the team. And the next time the front line just lets the defense through and the quarterback's dead. Mm-hmm. So he goes, next time he wins, he goes, I just want to thank my team and God. And then the team supports him. Because in a team sport, you can't be really successful without a team. Maybe basketball a little bit, but like football and stuff.
No.
So it keeps that ego.
Honestly, no, you can't. Like, as a leader, you have to have that ego. You have to be selfish a little bit. You don't have to be, because, I mean, LeBron, I wouldn't say LeBron's selfish at all. But there's times where he just, takes over and doesn't pass the ball. But then again, his game is usually, look for the open man and get everybody around me involved and get everybody better around me. And he's just a leader. He's just a true leader. And when he needs to take over, he'll take over. And that's why he's averaging 25 points a game, because he's like, I know my team needs me to score, so I'm going to score. I know my team needs me to pass, so I'm going to pass. I know my team needs me to rebound, so I'm going to do that. He's just a winner. He's just someone that plays for his team. But I feel like you have to have an ego in a way. And in basketball, you have to have a team. You have to have you have to have a couple players that are good. And you have to have chemistry. But I feel like you have to have that one player, at least that one player that's alpha. He's just he can take over the game. He has an ego a little bit where he's I am the man. Get out of my way and I'm gonna get a bucket. I feel like you have to have that one player. I feel like LeBron is like that sometimes. I feel like I want him to be like that more. Because I feel like he passes the ball too much, but that's his game, so. Yeah.
Check, but with boxing or fight, it's just you.
It is,
Yeah.
but it also is a team as well because you need a coach.
You need
need someone to train you correctly. And in Tyson's case, when his coach died, when Customato died, and then his relationship with his coaches afterwards deteriorated to the point where he really was just having like bucket carriers in the ring with him. His career faded.
So you need a back office kind of.
You need someone you respect too. You need someone who's like, hey man, you keep dropping your fucking left hand. Stop doing that. You're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Like you need someone who sees your failures and your mistakes and checks you on them, and you need to respect that person.
So does Michael Jordan have that person?
I think Michael Jordan was so hard on himself and so obsessed with winning. I mean, I think this is why I wanted to bring him up, because I think there's psychological issues that these extreme winners have that you don't get to where they are without them.
Yeah.
It's like where the illness becomes beneficial, right? Yeah. If you're not sadistic, you don't make a good serial killer.
Right, or a good internet troll. Yeah.
But if you're not narcissistic or an egomaniac, I wonder if you ever become a guy like Michael Jordan, who's just so dominant.
You don't. I mean, that's why I feel like LeBron is never going to be like a Michael Jordan. Like, I feel like that's one of the reasons why people will never say that LeBron is, like, certain people won't say that LeBron is will ever be better than Michael Jordan, because they feel like Jordan doesn't have that thing where he doesn't have that mentality like Michael Jordan, that ego like Michael Jordan, to just like take over a game and just has that killer mentality. Like, LeBron has it at times, like the Miami Heat versus Boston series. I've seen that. That guy, he was possessed. Like, he was possessed. You can see his eyes. Like, you can see that clip where he's like he's at the end of the court, and you can see he's like. And there's a meme where, like, when you see LeBron's face like that, you know it's over. The series is over, because LeBron is 6'8", 250. He can move like a guard. He can pass like a guard. He can shoot the ball like a guard. He's just gifted. He's athletic. He's super athletic. Like, he can run the court like a guard. Like he's super. Like, the fact, if he had Jordan's mentality, he would be the greatest of all time, hands down. Hands down. There would be no debate. No debate if he had the mentality as Jordan. Because, like, honestly, Jordan's not 6'8", 250. Jordan's gifted, but he doesn't have that build. If Jordan was that size, he would be putting up like 60 a game. He'd be putting up 60 a game. It's just like, he's just physically gifted, and he can move that way. Like, you're not supposed to move that way at that size. But it is what it is. Like, Jordan, I mean, LeBron is just, like, he'll always be dominant, but not on Jordan's level, because of the mentality, and he doesn't have the ego. So,
it's an example of somebody who's very egotistical. I mean, I don't know him, but that's what people say. He's very competitive, and it's obviously worked for him. And you see it with so the other option might be that, well, if you're kind of a dick and you're really, really good, people will let you get away with it.
Episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience are now free on Spotify. That's right, they're free. From September 1st to December 1st, they're going to be available everywhere. But after December 1st, they will only be available on Spotify, but they will be free. That includes the video. The video will also be there. It'll also be free. That's all we're asking. Just go download Spotify. Much love.
So I'm definitely going to tap into more of Joe Rogan's podcast, because he said a lot of, like, things that were facts. Like, he said a lot of good points. And I really agreed with what he was saying. I'm going to like the video. Yep. Put the notification bell on when he posts. You know, that's support, man. Make sure y'all do the same for me. when you watch my videos, that's love right there. You gotta hit the like button, subscribe button, and you gotta hit the bell. You feel me? But that's it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Like I said in the start of the video, this was a great video. It was very informative. It was just like, it was very refreshing to hear that point of view and the certain things he was saying, and I really agreed with it, because that's literally how I think. The stuff that Joe Rogan was saying, that's what I be thinking with comparing like LeBron and Jordan and those guys with the ego and stuff like that. You have to have a little bit of ego. Like LeBron has an ego. You have to have a little bit of ego to be that leader, to take someone to a championship and win it. Like, you have to have a little bit of ego. Like Curry, even though Curry seems like a nice guy, he still has a little bit of ego. He has that fire in him. He knows he's the man. He's the best shooter of all time. Like, you have to have that. Feel me? So it is what it is. Yeah. Stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.